So, at one point in your guys' lives, you were all younger children, and maybe that means that you guys have gone to various youth camps, Christian youth camps, and maybe you guys have also worked at some Christian youth camps as adults. And I want you guys to imagine those youth camp experiences without worship, without a worship space, community worship. And right now, there's a youth camp in Minnesota called Camp Lebanon that's currently experiencing the problems of not having a community worship space. And my desire for you guys is that by hearing about the problems that they're currently experiencing and their solution to solving these problems, that you guys would be inspired to help out by donating. I've been at this camp for 8 years. My dad's a pastor, he's volunteered at this camp. And so I've been connected with the staff. And so this camp has also been around for a long time. It's been around for decades, but just recently they've been starting to experience the issues of rapid growth. And so my goal for you guys is to understand the problems that they're currently experiencing, understand the solution that they want to solve these problems through building a new worship center, and then lastly, what the benefits and costs of building a new worship center may be, and what you guys can do to help out. And so we'll start off with, what is the problem? So the problem is there's too many kids. Well, a survey done by American Camping Association in 2016, just done by the association as a whole, reported that 50% of camps have experienced more kids than the prior year. And campus director Bill Abler from Camp Lebanon has stated in personal interviews as well as speeches about the effects that this is having on Camp Lebanon itself. So there are two problems that come with that. The first being that with more kids, it's harder to have control over the kids. And James C. Dobson in his book, Dare to Discipline, talks about the need for kids to have self-discipline and responsibility. And having an increase in kids makes it harder to keep that fostered in a camp setting. And then the second issue is that there's just not enough space. With more kids, you need to have a larger amount of space in the worship center to accommodate for everyone. And so, what is the plan to solve this? Now that you guys know what they're dealing with, we can move on to what Camp Lebanon's ability to solve this problem is. And that is building a new worship center. So this right here is an old picture of camp, and this is a new picture of camp. That's all the property that they used to own, and they now have a lot more property, as you can see, but a lot of that property is just unused space. So they have more kids and a lot of unused space, and what they want to do is build a new worship center. So an article done by a man named Michael Unger in 2012, Psychology Today, he writes that camp is a place of belonging for kids, and then another author named Leonard Syme in 2009 by the University of California, Berkeley, writes about the need for positive community in developing individuals. And Camp Lebanon believes that a new worship center will be beneficial to both of those things. The first being that if you have a new worship center, you will be able to be more inclusive because everybody will be able to worship in the same place. And then the second thing is community worship is positive community, which means that's great for developing individuals in that sense. And so now that you guys have an understanding of what their plan is, we can move into the pros and cons of building a new worship center. And so the first pro is that there's plenty of space for them to build a new worship center. This field up here is called the North 40. It's just a bunch of unused space on their property in which they can build a new worship center. They're not using it for anything. And so that leads into the second pro, is that planning has already been done for the new worship center. It's been in the process for years. And so you can be assured that if you give your money to this plan, that it will go into productivity and not just wasted time. However, there are a couple cons, and the first one is that the building space is kind of far away from the rest of camp. As you can see, this is the main area of camp down here, and that's where they want to build the new worship center. So it's kind of a walk for the campers. However, some would say that that's community building too. And then the other con is that it's an expensive project. So they've been collecting money for a while, and they'll probably continue to collect money for a while because buildings do cost a lot of money. But as soon as their budget is fulfilled, as I said, you can be assured that your money would go towards productive means. And so what can you guys do to help? So the first thing, well, the only thing really that you guys can do to help is donations. And I do hope that by hearing about the benefits of the solution that they've come up with, that you would have a desire to donate to Camp Lebanon and what they work for. And if you want to donate, it's very easy. This is a picture of their website right here. And they just have a big donate button up in the right corner. And all you do is go on their website, camplebanon.org, click the donate button, and it'll walk you through the steps to donate. And to leave you guys with this, I would just say Camp Lebanon does not care how much you give. Like, any amount is helpful. They just want to keep working towards their goal of community of worship and inclusive environment, and any means necessary, whether it's $1 or $100. So I would just leave you guys with that.